My name's Sanchez. I'm 34 years old. I was born and raised in Cedar Woolley. I got a beautiful wife, 3 stepchildren, and 2 sons of my own. And yeah, life is beautiful. I grew up without a father. He passed away when I was 2 years old, and as young as I can remember, I had some built-up anger. I hated a man who was no longer here. And I also grew up in a gang-affected family. People who were supposed to be mentors or guiding me didn't notice me or didn't give me a chance. And so I gravitated towards the group that would give me a chance. Unfortunately, that group was committing crimes. So at an early age, I started getting involved with the gang and committing crimes, and ended up with a 10-year prison sentence. I spent 6 of those 10 years in solitary confinement. I just felt ugly. I couldn't stand to look at myself in the mirror, and I knew that I needed to make a change. I needed to make a change, or else I wasn't gonna make it any further in life. I had to hold up this mask or this image of a macho man, and I can't show no weakness for many years, so I masked a lot of it, and I held a lot of it in. I was 29 years old. I broke down crying, and I spent all my 20s in prison, and I spoke to God. It was one of the first conversations I ever had with him, and it was a deep conversation. And I just asked him to love me. And I asked him to protect me as I stepped away from the gang world. I stepped away from my drug addiction, and I feel like he gave me the presence of love. It started at my toes and went all the way up to my head. Like, it was a feeling of love. So a little seed I planted in my head, and I started watering it, and it started growing. And once I was able to find my gift, then I knew my purpose. My purpose is to give that gift away. So somebody shined the light on me, and I'm gonna go ahead and shine the light back on others and be that lighthouse. And I think God helped me love myself and accept myself. And I just look at him like just a nurturing father, like just holding me, like it's gonna be okay. I met Chris Hoke 17 years ago when he moved to the Valley. I met him in county jail when I was 18. He went in there with his guitar and his Bible and started singing songs, and I had a lot of trust issues, but I trusted this guy. And he asked if he could come visit me, and I didn't hesitate. I said, yeah, you can come visit me. And so even when I got released out of jail, he'd be out here waiting for me, be like, hey, let's hang out, let's go get a sandwich, get a cup of coffee. I want to get to know you. And so when I did decide to change my life and open up my heart to God, Chris was there. He was one of the first people I called, and I said, hey, I made a decision. I decided to part ways with the gang world. And it kind of reminds me of the prodigal son. He said, first thing he said was, welcome home, and let's start planning your future. But while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion, and ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quickly, bring the best robe and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattened calf and kill it, and let us eat and celebrate. For this is my son. He was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. And they began to celebrate. I was lost. I was hard-headed. I was selfish. I was immature. I destroyed everything in my path, and I had to go away for a while. And my way back home wasn't a physical home. It was in my heart. I was about a year out from prison, and my brother Renato, who had been saved a couple years before, said, hey, there's this place. It's on your way to work. And so I asked him, well, what's this place called? He said, well, this place, his place. I said, I'm gonna stop by. And he said, well, be careful, because his place might become your place. And so I showed up. I remember it was a Wednesday, and I walked in, and there was this kind soul just waiting for me by the name of Nick. So Nick and Buddy were the first ones that I met, and Nick sat down and talked to me, and within the first couple minutes of the conversation, he just stopped and looked at me, and he said, you know what? There's something about you. He said, you are gonna make a difference. And I just felt love. I immediately felt like that was my home. Hallelujah, praise the one who set me free. Hallelujah, death has lost its grip on me. You have broken every chain. There's salvation in your name. Jesus Christ, my living hope. My name's Alex, and welcome to my church.